Today's guest is a powerful storyteller who's faced immense pressure and was forced to grow up far too soon, turning her challenges into creative positivity. But before we get into this, I want to say a huge thank you to Parliament Square Coffee for hosting this episode. But anyway, let's get into it. You described yourself as a human discovering peace. What led you to feel this way in this chapter of your life?
I just feel like, obviously this is the first time being on the earth, you know what I mean? And I feel like peace isn't, not everyone finds peace forever or sometimes ever throughout their life. And I feel like I'm now at that stage after being through everything I went through when I was younger, where I've finally felt at ease, and not just for a short amount of time. I feel like I've felt at ease and proper at peace with myself for a few years now. So it's just managing myself around that. It's almost like discovering a whole new personality type, because when you go through proper traumatic things or depression and anxiety and stuff like that, and they're the root cause of all your issues, you kind of just have you're a completely different person basically. And then turning into almost a nice person again, you're just a bit oh, this is weird, I'm not really a horrible person anymore. So it's kind of just discovering what I don't know, I guess just discovering what it's like not to have to constantly have my armor up or constantly feel upset, actually allowing myself to feel happy and do things that make me happy and stuff like that.
So that is lovely though, isn't it? It must be refreshing. It must be like you said, it's a whole new breath of fresh air.
It literally is. It's so refreshing, and it's weird at the same time. It took a lot of getting used to, because I think, especially with depression and stuff, you get so into it that once it's kind of wilted away, I guess, you almost feel uncomfortable with feeling okay. I used to get some days where I was just I actually just really want to cry all night. And it's you don't need to cry. You have nothing to cry about. And it was just but I want to.
So it was were you masking other feelings in a way?
Yeah, because it was just you're happy, let yourself be happy. And it's but it felt wrong.
It felt wrong to be happy.
But now I'm just if anyone makes me sad now, it's on sight. I don't want to be sad ever again. It's gotten to a point now that I'm so happy with my life, so at peace that I rarely cry. And even sad films really make me cry. Although saying that, today I was watching loads of videos on TikTok of military people coming home, and I was crying in my bed. But it was happy tears. It was oh, bless you. But I rarely cry anymore, and it's so good. But I used to say when I was a few years ago, I was it's probably because I've cried everything out of me. I probably have no tear left to shed. But obviously that's not true. I've just got a good life at the moment.
That's good. So do you think your peace you found comes from understanding your upbringing and understanding what you went through?
Yeah, 100%. It's making peace with what happened. And it's not even you don't have to unpack everything. You just have to think to yourself, that happened, let's move on. But it's getting to that point where you're that happened, let's move on. That's the difficult part. It's the constantly not bringing things up in your mind or bringing things up in discussion, where it was just that happened to me, that was so wrong, constantly just going on about it, which if you're still at that phase, it will end. You go through it. It's so important to go through that phase. But you've got to also at some point in your life just say, that happened, on to the next thing.
Basically acceptance.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but I think it takes time to get to that point, doesn't it?
100%. It took me age. I don't think it was until I was probably 18, until I was just that happened, let's move on. And I think a lot of that acceptance came from moving up here.
Really?
And it kind of came with the independence, because also you kind of just up here, when I was introducing myself to people for the first time, it wasn't, hi, I'm Dee, the person with the alcoholic mother, and they knew that already. Whereas when I was back home, like loads of people knew me from when I was really young, whether I went to school with them or they knew my mum from the area. Everyone knew. And it almost sometimes just felt like, even if people wouldn't speak about it, bring it up or nothing, it was almost in the back of my mind, like, oh my gosh, they just know I am like the daughter of an alcoholic and they're always just going to think that. And it's always like pity first, like whatever. Whereas up here, it's just like, I am myself and
It was a fresh
nothing,
start, basically. Like
nothing is holding me.
You could write a brand new chapter and you could be
100%,
whoever you
yeah.
wanted to be. People could think of you in any way.
Yeah.
Where back home, you were probably, maybe they judged you already before they even actually spoke to you because, like you said, the pity come first. That is like, people do that, don't they? When they know back to like a backstory, sometimes people judge, even if it's not in a negative way, they still judge in, oh, I've got to be a certain way with it. I can't fully be the person I am. I've got to try and comfort her.
Almost like walk on
You
eggshells.
just don't want that, do you?
Don't want it, don't need it. Like, I think I'm like as tough as they come. Love criticism. Love when a bitch has got something to say. Love it. Like, just say it. Like, I'm not worried and I'm not scared and I'm not going to take offense. Like, I think that's the one thing that's best about me. I just don't take offense easy. And like, I don't care that much. I think that's why when like, I hated it when people were like, oh, are you okay if I drink? I'm like, I don't care. Drink. It's your life. Like, genuinely, it's not going to affect me. I'm not going to like suddenly start kicking and screaming because you drink in front of me. It's not like that. Like, it's fine. I actually had like a friend of mine, her mother was an alcoholic as well, and we grew up together. And I saw her in the gym before I moved to Liverpool, and she'd moved to Reading for uni. And I said to her, I was like, oh, how's it going? She was like, honestly, the best thing I did was move. She was like, honestly, you start a clean slate. You can be exactly who you want to be without like other people's reputation like tethering you down. And like I really feel that right now. Like being up here, I love it.
That's amazing. So then, let's dive into your upbringing. You said to me it was a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Can we go into it?
Yeah, it was. I think most of the pressure came from mostly me. Like, I think I got really, when I was young, I was really territorial because it wasn't just me, it was my little sister as well. And also, it had almost always, like when we were younger, been just the three of us really. Because yeah, like my sister's dad was in the picture for ages, and he still is, but obviously not as a proper like mum, two daughters, dad, like type of vibe. It was just like I kind of had to like stand up for the family. Didn't realise at the time I was probably standing up for the wrong thing, because in reality I was obviously protecting my mum, but by doing so it was neglecting her, the room to get help and stuff like that. But then I was also protecting my little sister because she was very young. I was very young. And but it did feel like, I don't know, it was just like I was willing almost to sacrifice myself like through all of this trauma and all of like the anguish that I had to go through just to like keep this like happy family
Keep
going.
the peace and keep the...
But it was never going to work like that.
It was never going to work.
No, it worked for a few years.
It does, doesn't it?
But yeah, it does. But
why do you think you allowed yourself to take on that role? Like, obviously, at such a young age.
I think when you're a child, you kind of think, oh my God, if I do something, it's going to be wrong. Yeah. Or like, and also like, you're kind of like fighting with yourself because it's like, if I tell someone and kind of give your own mum in, which also sounds awful when you're like a 10-year-old, it's a bit like you think that by doing that, it's actually not going to help her, it's going to make her worse.
And that's like the end.
Yeah. Because at that stage of my life, I generally thought the reason that like my mum like was keeping going, like she was doing fine, was because of me and my sister. But when me and my sister moved in with my grandparents, she was still drinking. Like it's not like that. Like you generally just think like that is the reason that she's like still going, like she's still like doing fine, like she's trying. It's not like the one lesson I think that really like stuck with me is that with addicts, like nothing will make them stop. It has to come from them. No matter how much they love you, the addiction will take over. And the addiction does, unfortunately, take place above your kids most of the time. And that was a really hard lesson to kind of sit with.
Yeah.
But then once you like kind of, when I came to peace with that, I was just like, it's not her fault. And that's when I kind of really delved into the whole it's an illness thing. And that's when I really started believing it. Because for that, I was just a bit like, she's doing this on purpose.
Yeah, you must have
This is her
questioned.
decision. Like, she could start whenever she wanted. It's not like that.
You must have questioned, like, did she care? Stuff like that. That must have come into your head. But then,
Yeah.
did you have an understanding of, like, oh, it's an illness, it's an addiction?
I don't think I had that understanding until I was 16. And I kind of regret how long it took me to realise
So
that.
did you, in a certain way, resent it sometimes?
Yeah.
A lot?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I really was just like, if you just got your act together, I could have a normal life, I could be a normal kid. But it just, like, for loads of people, it just doesn't work out that way. And that's just not your fault. You don't choose what family you get raised in. You don't choose what situation your childhood's in. You kind of just have to pick yourself back up and move on. And just know that it isn't your fault. It's other people's actions. You're just unfortunately in the firing line of those actions.
Of course. I would also want to just ask, because with your mum's addiction, how do you think that, like, shaped you as a person till today? Do you think it's made you a stronger person, or how would you think
100%. Oh my
it
gosh.
shaped you?
When I was really, really young, I was like the shy, quiet kid who just didn't want to speak to anybody. When you're dealing with an alcoholic and you're trying to hide it from like teachers, friends, like family members, like the one person who you'd never ask, are you okay, is the loud kid. And I just like stuck that to my guns, and I'm still sticking to it to my guns. It's now morphed into my personality and I'm totally okay with it. But I've always said, like, I've even said to my mum, I was like, if it wasn't for you being an addict, I wouldn't be who I am today. And I'm actually really happy with how I am today.
Yeah, that's lovely though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's the perfect way to take your past on and look at it in the best positive way, because you could be a person that says, oh, my past, it's made me not be where I should be in my life. It's a negative on me. It's just an issue. But now you've took it as a positive. You are able to see the positive out of it, see what it's done for you to make you a better person. I think that's really good. Do you think that's just the best way of being able to cope with it? Understanding and acceptance?
Yeah, I think once you accept and you come to terms with everything, it's almost like picking and choosing what traits you want to take on to your next chapter. And I 100% was just like, I'm not taking on all the traumatic ones that I like formed, I guess you could say. And I was just like, just going to take on the ones that have really good survival instincts, I guess, like stuff that I can just use whenever. And like, because if I'd just taken on that like proper moody, depressive like teenager, oh my gosh, I'd be the most insufferable person ever right now. Whereas like I just took on like I'm so, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I'm really strong. Like I'm just so strong, like emotionally and mentally. And I think even though when I was younger, I was kind of like cursing the fact that I had to mature really quickly, I think I see things and situations in the world now which I'm more like mature, and I bring a more mature attitude towards, which I don't think a lot of people my age do. They'll obviously get there, like it's not, everyone matures differently, everyone matures later or earlier, whatever. But I 100% am glad that I approach things because I feel a lot more mature than I should probably be at my age.
No, but it's just great that you've looked at the issue that was found as a positive, and actually when you do sit back and realise stuff that it has grown you into the person you are. So it is great that it has done that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Was it apparent to many family members?
Everyone knew, I
Yeah.
think. Everyone knew because my mum had been an alcoholic for many years before I was even born, let alone when my sister was born. Everyone knew, but I think everyone had the same dilemma as I did. It was more like, are we really going to rip this family apart? Because Emily was super young, and like, she probably wouldn't have understood, but she might have gotten over it quicker, because it's more like, oh yeah, we're just going to go stay with our grandparents for a bit. Whereas I was tiptoeing into teenage years, and that already is really difficult in itself, let alone completely changing somebody's environment and somebody's like lifestyle.
And obviously knowing in the background what your mum was going through.
100%. I think it was a struggle for all of us. Like, I do think that some people think it was a struggle more for them than it was for the three of us, which 100% feel like that, whatever. But I do really think that everyone was just trying to do their best, maybe not to the fullest at all times, but in the end, we obviously did get the proper outcome. But it's really difficult. Like, what do you actually do with an addict? Like, it's not like something you could Google. It's not like, how do you make bread?
Yeah.
It's like, because every addict is different. And it's like, how do you deal with a specific certain type of addict, especially one that is quite, my mum is so just independent.
Anyway, an independent person.
Yeah, and an independent addict.
But it's like, 100%. You can't tell somebody to stop.
No.
Because
they're not going to stop.
They're not going to stop.
And my mum's very stubborn. So telling my mum to stop, she would never stop unless it's for her own accord. Thankfully, she's been sober now for almost 5 years. So she did finally get there. But I think her being forced to stop numerous times was actually more of a setback than it was trying to help her. But you would never have known that in the time. The people who were forcing her to stop would never have known that.
People think that, don't they? Yeah. But
they think, right, we'll get her into rehab, then she'll be sorted, she'll be fine. Well, what if she comes out and she relapses, which she did?
Yeah. And it can make it worse, can't it?
100%, yeah. And it's like, it's just, I don't think it's anybody's fault. It's not even my mum's fault.
No, of course
not. It's like, because the addiction gene is in like, it like skips generations. So it's like 1 in 2 people have the addiction gene.
Wow, I didn't even know.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, but it might not be alcohol. It could be like nicotine, stuff like that, like anything. But yeah, I think that everyone was like, just, it was a first for everybody.
Were they understanding?
I think it really took some time for my family to kind of, because I was not an easy kid, as I wouldn't have been. I was becoming a teenager, and then I was a teenager, which was even worse.
Trying to navigate them difficult times for yourself.
I'm changing as a person while still dealing with the things I was dealing with as a child. So it's like, it's so confusing and weird. But I think it took a long time for my family to kind of understand that what I was dealing with was a bit more detrimental than they actually thought it was. Because I think they probably saw, like, she's a kid, like, we'll deal with her mum. And it's like, how do you deal with 2 people at the same time dealing with 2 different things? It's a lot, especially when my grandparents were quite old when they took us in. And it was like re-raising children after like almost like 50 years of not raising children.
And it's also from a totally different generation 100%. And a totally different understanding of times. And
like mental health wasn't even really a thing when they were younger. And they still, even now to this day, like, I still don't think they've fully grasped the concept. I don't think
people do, because it just wasn't spoken, or it wasn't a dumb thing. So like, obviously, when you were going through your times and you probably needed the shoulder or somebody just to understand you, nothing against them, it was just probably really difficult for them to...
Yeah, I did sometimes feel, though, like I was like almost put on a back step. Like, my mum kind of took first priority, which is so fair enough. But it was also it wasn't really until like my family kind of decided to cut her off that she then like started kind of doing things for herself, because my mum was in like a homeless shelter for ages, but she wasn't in there for long. Like, the one thing about my mum is she's a bloody grafter, that woman. Like, she can get a job whatever, because she's such a little gabby bitch. Like, she'll chat away, but and she like got herself out of there. Like, she had like her own apartment within a few months. Like, it was so good. But again, like, I was still kind of on the back pedestal, because then everyone was like decompressing from dealing with all that,
From
and
the
it was like, guys,
yeah.
I'm still
I'm
here.
here.
I'm still here. Like, I'm still dealing with things. But I did feel like I had some great friends.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Yeah. I've always been very lucky with having good friends through my life. And
Really stepped up for you.
yeah, 100%. And I think as well, like, it's really hard to like speak to your family members when like you're in that teenage years where you're arguing with everyone and you're clashing. And it's like, well, now I feel too embarrassed to talk to you about my feelings because we've just shouted the house down. Like, it was always like that. And I was just like, oh, just don't worry about me. And I think that's where my independence comes from as well. It's like, I'm going to fix myself. You don't need to worry about me.
And then, so I want to go flashback a few years. Around COVID, your mum come to you out the blue and said she was 4 months sober. Then fast forward to now, your mum's obviously an advocate of helping and involved in helping people with alcohol and addiction. How proud are you of her?
I'm so proud. And do you know what? I can really see the work she puts in, because I'll get the odd phone call from her and she'll be like, I'm so tired. I'm working 6 days and I've got AA tonight and I've got AA Thursday. But like, even though she'll get really grumpy because she's really tired about it, she goes and she does it. And like, from the get-go, when she was really trying to get serious about it, after a few months, she was like, I really want to help. Like, I really want to be like one of the spokespeople in my like meetings and stuff like that. And I was like, that's so cool. Like, that's great. And like, the best thing for her, which she did, was I think she became friends with so many people in it, which sometimes can be kind of like, it can be quite like hit or miss, because you never know if anyone's going to relapse.
Because people can drag you down at the same time, but or people could be like the best thing that ever happened to you to like get you better. But it's like you said,
it depends, but all of her friends are lovely. Love them all. And she just works so hard. Like, they went on this hike this one time, and my mum hates hiking, but she was like, I saw this nice waterfall, and I was like, great, that's so cool.
It must be inspiring, like
100%.
to see a person be at the lowest, especially being your mum, and then showing that you can build yourself up to basically come back and be a fully changed person, isn't it?
And like, the one thing I'll say about my mum is like, my mum is the type of person who's meant to be a mother. Like, she is like, she's just like a perfect mum. And I do like sometimes, and even when I was younger and we were going through everything, like those days where she was sober and I was like, oh, you're in mum mode. Like, you're like perfect mum right now. And like, even now, she's great. Like, she's just the type of person who's meant to be a mother. And I just do, like, I almost feel sad for her. Like, she didn't have that full experience.
Yeah, she missed out on
of like
time
being
with,
like the mother that she was meant to
Yeah.
be, because like she was so ill with this addiction. But like, even she's like she's making up for it now and stuff. Long distance though, because I'm never moving back home. But she does like proper try, and like she's so good like with my little sister and everything. But yeah, like, I'm so proud of her. She's doing great. Like, love her to bits. She's doing so good. Yeah.
I also want to dive into alcohol in general. Is it a struggle being around alcohol?
No.
No?
No, I don't drink.
Or like seeing people consume it? No?
No, not at all. I just think, I think that, I think I have friends really who really know their limit. And like, especially because a lot of my friends, some of them are like a bit older than me, only by like a year or two. I'm saying it as if they're like 30. But they're kind of like at that point now in their life where they're like, I really can't be bothered bother drinking. So like their norm is like a glass of wine and stuff like that,
so
which is
it's
like,
not,
oh, that's
yeah.
fine.
Was it ever hard? Because obviously, I know with our culture of being in uni, and it can be times where it's very, like, you must be able to see when a person is going through an issue without even
Yeah,
knowing.
that
It must be.
it's a hard one when you know, because I feel like I've got a radar for these things now.
Because
Like,
you've been through it yourself, you can see.
I can see when someone's drinking fun and when someone is not at all and they're just drinking to escape. It's a hard one. Like, knowing that you can't do anything about it is difficult. And I think people are going to think I'm really heartless for this, but I genuinely don't say anything because in the past, that's made things worse. And I genuinely think that, like, for some people, it is a phase and they'll come out of it. But I also always open myself up for if anyone does want to come to me, talk to me or ask me anything, they completely can. I've never a closed off book for any subject, even if I have no experience in it, even if like I don't know what I'm talking about, I'll just gab at you for ages until I'm saying something that makes sense and you're feeling better, that's fine. But I never really I'm not the person to pull someone aside and just say like, listen, I see what's happening here, because it doesn't help. That person is probably going to go back home and drink anyway.
But then arising the issue can also make the issue worse because it's maybe it's not actually been in the forefront of the mind. They're just actually, it's a habit at the moment. It's not illness, if you know what I mean. It's still a habit.
Because it's like a coping mechanism, and some people don't realise that they're drinking to cope. Some people don't even know what they're coping from. Like, it's a difficult one, but the one thing that is so important to remember is like, you cannot do anything. It's not your life. You can't control somebody else. You can't tell them to do something. They will do it when they want to do it. And I think it's a difficult one to come to terms to.
But do you think your mum helped you with that? Being able to, like, you can't control another person. You can only offer the support and being there.
And you know what? When they do help themselves, it's so much more inspiring, and it makes me so much more proud of her, because it's like, you did that on your own. You took the initiative and you thought, I'm going to stop drinking today. And then 4 years on, you've never touched anything since. Like, you've done that all by yourself. Nobody can take the credit for you for that one.
No.
Nobody was forcing you to do that. Like, I think with addicts who've become sober, like, they have to remember that you should be really proud about the fact that you did that on your own.
Of course,
nobody else forced you to do that. No one shoved you into rehab and said you either stay sober or else, and you just stayed sober. It's more like you did that all by yourself. Even if someone was pushing you a little bit, you still didn't take another sip ever again.
Wow, no, it really is. Now, I might be being totally deep into thought, and it's just a personal conflict of interest. When I was looking back at the notes, you mentioned you work as a beer seller. Even though you've said being around alcohol is okay, is there a reason why you've stayed around that environment? Is it like familiar or comfortable in a way, if you get what I mean?
Yeah, I love the people I work with.
Is that the reason?
I love the people I work with. My job, technically, is really easy. Like,
was a reason of starting because of that, or is it just how it planned out?
So, funnily enough, it's just how it planned out, because I had finished my foundation year and I was determined not to go home, me being stubborn and independent and all that. So I was like, I need a place to live and I need a job, and I have 2 months to do that, because then my money runs out and then I'll have to go home. So I was applying on, like, for jobs for like 3 months. This was the only job that gave me an interview, got the job, and it doesn't even cross my mind that we sell alcohol. There's an alcohol in a warehouse right next to my office. Like, it doesn't bother me at all. And I just love everyone there. And funnily enough, we don't just speak about alcohol all day. So,
no, of course not.
Yeah,
I was just thinking, being around the environment, I was just wondering, is it like a comforting mechanism because you've always been? I don't know, I might be really deep in it and be completely wrong here, but...
I've kind of stayed because I just, like, it's really convenient, and to be fair, I'm
Yeah.
really lucky. They've been really flexible with me
Fair
going to
enough,
uni and
yeah.
everything.
Of course.
And like all my shifts are really flexible. Like my supervisor Bree, she's really lovely, and she like makes things so much easier for all of us.
So it's nothing to do with that, to be honest.
No, it's
Fair
just
enough,
more. Yeah, you're thinking too much about it. You're deep in it too much. So I just love the people.
Before we move on, I also want to ask you something that you said. If I read it out. When you care less, you deal with stuff better.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like for example, like insecurities. Just if you don't care about them, you're never gonna see them. Like I always like struggled with my weight, and then the past few years I've just been like, it just doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter. Like it's like for me, it was like coming to the point of like being like my jeans. I'm never gonna be like a size 0 because of my jeans. Like my mum's a big gal as well. I'm like a big gal. I'm never gonna be a size 0. So then I just stopped caring. It's like if you just it also applies to like when I'm acting, like when you go on stage, like stage fright gets
It's a freedom,
everybody.
isn't it? I think
Yeah.
you're allowing yourself to have a freedom to just be happy and love yourself for what you're doing. If it's
Yeah.
in that aspect, or if it's in your acting,
Yeah.
it's failure is just a thing that you go through,
Yeah,
and you don't
100%.
see it as a negative.
Yeah,
I
it's
love that.
like with life in general, if you care less, you'd be less embarrassed,
Yeah.
and you'd do things that you love.
You do more things.
You'd be
yeah.
more awkward. You'd be more cringy. You'd have more fun. Like, I think like people who care too much, you're just missing out. You're
You
missing
think
out on
less,
your
don't you?
Yeah, you think so much less. Honestly, I used to think too much. Now I feel like I don't think enough, and I'm not using my brain to its fullest capacity. It generally feels like I've got 2 brain cells at the moment, but it just I'm happy, and like it's because I don't really care.
But that's the main thing. I think happiness is what everyone's striving for in life. So if you can make it easy as possible to be able to just acceptance, I think it is down to again acceptance,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's just accept you as a person and be happy.
I'll keep this short, but if you could like, share or subscribe, it'll help us keep these conversations growing, and it means a lot. So thank you and enjoy the rest of the episode.
Couldn't not ask about a huge influence in your life and a project you're working on, but also your mum's best friend, Kitty.
Yes.
What impact has Kitty had on your life?
Oh my gosh, I was thinking about Kitty yesterday actually, and I was just thinking like, so Kitty was like a second mum, and I think the difficult thing is she was basically my mum doubled because they both were addicts as well. I think if I could be anyone, I would be her.
Wow.
Like, if speaking about like the care less thing, you could not find anyone who cared less about anything ever, and like about judgment, anything like that, than her. Like, honestly, that woman just didn't care at all about anything. She was incredible. Like, it was such like it was a weird time when we found out that she'd passed away, because also it was during COVID. So it was just like, oh my gosh, only 10 people are allowed in your funeral, which I think is crazy, but obviously for safety reasons. And my mum was just like, I don't know, it was just so strange. And like sometimes I do like, she always crosses my mind, especially when I'm doing something. And I always just think like, would she be proud of me? And I think she would, because she would always say like, whatever you do, just do it as crazy as you possibly can. Like she was like larger than life. She is the definition of larger than life.
Was she just supportive to like anything?
Yeah. The way, like, it was just so unfortunate that they both dealt with addiction because they were both
Did
each
they
other's
help each other though,
enablers.
would you say? Or was it a detriment in a way?
So it was strange. Sometimes they would just enable each other. It was like one person was sober for a little bit, but one person was drinking, and then vice versa. And they were just like, oh, one's doing this, one's doing that. It was really odd, but when they were, oh my gosh, I've never like had so much fun in my childhood than when those two were sober and we were out doing things. Like my childhood, because of her and her kids, like we all grew up together, like was just incredible. But then like you look back now that you're older and then you just remember all like the things that were just like crazy and you're just like, but I never ever let those like ever like diminish my memories of her at all.
Oh, that's amazing. How was it? Was it difficult to deal with, like losing a person like that that's been so
At
huge
the
in your life?
time, it was really upsetting. Of course, it was
Mm-hmm.
upsetting, but at the time, I don't think it hit me as much as like now that I'm older. It, especially when I kind of came to peace with everything, because at the time when she died, my mum was still an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came to like peace with everything, I was just a bit like, my gosh, like
Mm-hmm.
she's dead, but my mum is alive and she's sober.
Yeah. Do you think she was a reason for, her passing? Do you think it helped? Do you think it arose in your mum's head to become sober?
No.
No.
Unfortunately, no.
No, it wasn't.
But I do think, like, every time my mum goes to AA, I do think she thinks of her.
I think so. Yeah.
And like, because I think I've asked my mum once, and I said to her, I was like, if you'd been sober before she died, would have you have like helped her? And she said, yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard because she would have known that if Kitty had said, "Oh, just come have a drink with me," my mum would have folded. But she would have also known that if she'd taken Kitty to one AA meeting and she'd met all the people, she would have loved it.
She would have loved it.
It's really difficult,
Mm.
but she died like still being so funny and full of life as anything. And like honestly, I think it's gonna like the loss of her will be probably the hardest one I'm probably ever gonna have to deal with in my life. Yeah.
Do you want to go dive into the project as
Yeah.
well? Let's talk about this now.
So I'm in the midst of writing a TV series about my mum and Kitty that is set in the 2000s because I wanted to start really, really early. You might as well proper go all the way back. And it's just about the concept of addiction on both sides of the scale. So obviously, the really detrimental side of it where people do die of addiction, and then the side where people decide to sober up and they actually stay with it. And I think that it's going to be funny, really dark comedy because it's the 2000s. Nobody really got offended back then. Like my mum and Kitty were very like dark humour as well. I really want to pay like homage to that in the script. But it's really hard writing people you know.
Of course, it must
and
be.
it's even harder writing a memory.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you're going back. You're not creating nothing.
No, I'm going right back. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it'll be. I just want it to feel like. I want the audience to feel like an alcoholic as well, where they are so in love with the characters, because they will be, honestly, like massive personalities on the screen. They're so in love with the characters that they almost are in denial about them being alcoholics, so that when everything kind of hits the fan, it'll be even more heartbreaking.
Do they know at the start that they're alcoholics?
They know, like, there's like some clues. So I've written in like it's like clinking of bottles in bags, like there's a random empty bottle of wine under this car seat.
So it comes
random
apparent,
stuff.
but there's nothing.
But it won't be until there's I've written in a scene where, because when I was younger, the mums used to have like these PT parties like for schools. So it was all the mums, they went out on like a bender and all that. And it'll be then where they realise that they are the only two people who are drinking an excessive amount, and that's when their friendship more or less flourishes massively. But it'll be really good. It's just really long.
Yeah,
it's really long to write, and it's really like
challenging at some points.
Yeah,
I bet there's point where you just blank and can't write no more?
It's going to get to a point later on where I'm going to have to write myself. And that's going to be even harder. Because it's me now writing about me then.
Yeah. But actually being honest and...
Two completely different people as well.
Yeah.
And it's really hard because I'm going to have to unblock out some memories just to remember how I was and then write that. So,
and try and be as honest as possible with it.
Yeah, that's going to be hard.
That'll be difficult.
Really, really difficult, yeah.
Imagine having to do that about yourself. Are you not looking forward to it?
No.
And then I just want to go into storytelling in general and your writing. I think when we were talking, it fascinated me the way you can be so creative and spark a story from something so little. When you were giving me examples, where did you get this skill, do you think? Where did the passion come from?
I think, and funnily enough, when you're really young and you're dealing with an addict, you do have such an over imagination where it's almost like you're overthinking constantly. And now that I'm older, I'm like, thank God I do have that, because I can turn anything that I see, hear, anything like that into something fully formed and detailed and really random, and I can make something out of anything. And it's because I just over imagine that one thing. But when I was younger, that was really difficult to deal with, because it was almost like your own mind is playing against you. But now I'm older, I'm like, this is so good. This is working in my favor completely. That is, to me, what my creativity is that skill that was my biggest downfall is now not.
Your
it's
biggest positive. Biggest skill.
Biggest skill.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just all about what threw me down the trauma is actually just pulling me right back up again.
You didn't have Wi-Fi to you as well, you said, did you?
No.
How much of an impact was this on being able to, your ability to be creative? And
well, I loved reading. I mean, if you don't have Wi-Fi, what else are you going to do? Watch CBBC where they play the same four shows 5 times after each other. I loved reading, and because of my over imagination, it was sometimes really fun when I was younger, because I'd finish a book and I could not pick up another one for 3 weeks, because I would literally play in my head how the book would keep going.
Really?
But with me in it. And I would 3 weeks, I'd just be sat around daydreaming, daydreaming fully about it. And I just love my books. I've only just gotten back into books, but I think that's because I really enjoyed books when I was younger, but then some books now I'm just they're all crap.
Yeah.
I need something that really throws me in it. I want to imagine that I'm in it, and I want a situation which I would love to be in it.
I think that's the children's books, isn't it? It takes you away from the world, where a lot of books, even fiction books, they're very serious at times, aren't they, and real, where we just want to...
I just want to leave. But I used to actually... My favourite author when I was younger was Jacqueline Wilson, and it's crazy because she deals with, even though she's, classed as children books, young adults, her, topics are really heavy. Really, really heavy. And, I used to just love reading one of her books that was, quite sad. But, cry for a different reason. I'm crying because this thing is happening to this person in this book, and not because there's things happening to me in real life. I think you don't really notice how a different cry feels. And honestly, crying to a book is a bit of an escapism for me. When I was younger, I was just I need to cry about something else right now. So pick up the book. But books really, really helped.
Yeah.
Especially with my
writing. Well, it must have been because, like you said, you didn't have no other source of occupying yourself.
Yeah.
I bet it was even saying when you were imagining creating games and stuff, it just allowed you to just be solely focused on creativity without even knowing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because you actually said to me, which was interesting, it felt like a setback getting Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
I even feel like now I'm like, right, I need to write something.
Mm-hmm.
Write something. No, TikTok's calling my name. If I still hadn't had Wi-Fi, oh my gosh, I would have written like 12 plays by now. I would be like a fully like published author,
Mm-hmm.
everything like that, if it wasn't for Wi-Fi. And like when I was younger, Wi-Fi was a luxury because we'd go over my grandparents' house and they'd have Wi-Fi and it'd be like, yay, like we could play on their iPad. But like, and then we got home and it was just like, oh. But then you get over it.
Over it, yeah.
You completely get over it.
Well, you have to, don't you? Especially as a kid, you're just like, oh, after a bit, it's rubbish of it, but then... Yeah.
Like, honestly, I think it take me a while to get used to now that we've had, obviously, technology and, like, I've had Wi-Fi in my life for ages. I genuinely think I could live off grid. I'd love it. I'd absolutely love it. But I think, like, it's just impossible now. Everything's done with technology. And that's fine.
Yeah, but...
Because I do get some of my inspo, like, I love Pinterest. Love Pinterest. Like, if I've made a character in my head, I'm using Pinterest to see what that character looks like, stuff like that. But there's some times where I'm just like, I really wish I could put my phone down now.
It's a positive for a lot of things, but there's always going to be a negative to using it. The amount of time that we all spend for more waste than anything, or waste of what we could use. But it's just how we live in now, isn't it? And I don't see it ever going the opposite way. But it's about balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's balance, isn't it?
And it's about like discipline.
Discipline.
Like, just get off your phone.
Yeah.
Get off your phone.
And go and focus on something.
Yeah, go for a walk, touch grass. Like, people, please touch grass. Like, get off your phones. But yeah, I just Wi-Fi. I might just go around and start cutting cables.
Just start cutting.
Get rid of all the fibre.
Also, I want to track back to, you know, when you were saying you were a loud person, something else you said, becoming very loud because people don't take notice to a quiet kid. Was you becoming loud a starting pillar in your passion for acting, writing and storytelling?
Do you know what, funnily enough, I was always like the little acting kid.
Really?
I was just too shy to like put myself forward for like proper roles that I really wanted to do. Like when I was really young, I was like 6. And my mum sprung on me a random Annie audition. And she was like, right, pick a song, you're singing that now. And I was just like, oh, no. But I picked this song and I knew the words and I just clammed up and I was like, I actually don't want to go for Annie. Whereas me now, if I was 6 years old, I'd be like, I want to be Annie and I'm going as Annie. Whereas me then, I was okay being a background character. Whereas like me now, like I am my own main character and I want to be the main character in most things.
Do you think that confidence just comes with age though? And back to that of not caring?
Do you know what? There's a lot of people who will never be confident in their life, and that is really sad. I think for me personally, the confidence came from everything I had to deal with because I always had to be, I always had to use my voice, like speak up about things and stuff like that. And I think I'm confident now because I had to deal with so much stuff. Like, I think in the back of my mind, like younger me's like probably saying like, you've dealt with words, like just get a grip and do it. And I think that's really like what gets me through. It's like whatever people throw at me, it's nowhere near the amount of stuff that I've been thrown at in the past. And it's like, if I can get through that at like 10, I think 21-year-old me can get through like anything else.
Would you say you were always acting though? So do you know, say you were in school, or you'd obviously have to put a stronger bravado on, wouldn't you? Would you say your skill of being able to do that has come from real experience of not pretending, but acting a certain way in a school or around other family members to just feel like, act like you were okay, even when
it's
you weren't?
like putting on a facade, really. But then what was difficult is like, once being the loud kid kind of like melted actually into my personality, it was like learning the difference between acting to be another person and then acting to be another person. Like they're two different things and they take different skill sets. Because if I actually act like in a play or on screen the way I was portraying a personality just to hide something, I would probably get pulled for saying, are you okay? Like, that's not how we do things. Like, you're clearly not doing things in a healthy way, which is so valid. It's basically like method acting, and I would never do method acting again. I don't need another personality. I'm okay with the one I've got now. But yeah, I was a completely different person. And then I don't know how I did it though, because I'm thinking back now and I'm like, I was the quiet kid, and then all of a sudden I become the loud kid. If I was a teacher, I would have been like, that's strange. Why is this kid randomly talking up now in class and being really funny and loud? And my friends were probably, well, we were only young, they were probably like, oh yeah, she's like finally speaking.
Do you think
weirdo.
you got to a point where it was like a breaking point, or like it just snapped and it was like, well, I don't want to be this person. I want to be the actual person you are.
I think it was more of like, if I don't change who I am now, people are going to start clocking on real quick. Whereas me and my little sister are very different. My little sister is who I was. She's very quiet. She's very like people pleasery. Like she's nowhere near as confident as I am. No offense, Ems, but that's like who she's always been. But then I kind of had to like step up because we're both in the same school. If she'd slipped up and said something, and I was being the quiet kid, I think people would have been like, oh God, there's definitely something going on at home. But if she'd slipped up and said something, but I was still acting all happy and Larry, people would have been like, there's no way that's happening at home if she's not said anything or changed her personality. I think it was more of like a survival instinct, but not for me. It was just for the lie. Like I was literally holding on to this lie. Like the amount of pressure on my shoulders to hold on to this lie. I was pulling out all the stops just to make sure that people just did not know. And unfortunately, well, actually, fortunately now that I'm older, but that came to the cost of my personality and who I really was. People are going to diagnose me and be like, she's bipolar. Guys, I'm not, I promise, I promise.
The topic you arose in an answer and I want to touch on is modern marriage. I asked you, where do you see yourself in the coming years? And you said, hopefully, getting married and feeling chosen.
Yeah. I think it comes back to what you said about like, you kind of don't feel like I was like chosen when my mum was going through everything. And it does. And I feel like when I was younger, that really like was in my head for ages. And sometimes I do find like I am not over the fact that like I have never felt like a choice to somebody. And I think like it's not even the whole concept of marriage. It's just the feeling that someone like has chosen you so distinctively that they are willing to spend hundreds of thousands of pounds or like thousands of pounds or whatever to actually marry you and be with you for the rest of your life. I don't think people like actually deep that like that choice.
It's one of the biggest choices you make.
Yeah.
Definitely. But I feel like, I don't know what your outlook is, but there's a huge negative stigma around it at the moment. Because I remember when we spoke about it, you even brought that up as like, people might judge.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get your take on it.
Yeah, it's like, I think getting married is like really going out of fashion at the moment. But I think it's not even for... A lot of people are saying, why would you want to be like attached to someone for the rest of your life? Like that's what marriage means. Like you're basically one person. It's like, well, you could think about it like that, but if you think about it like that, that's just really deep and boring. Like being married to someone is supposed to be fun. Like it's like you've chosen someone to be with for the rest of your life, hopefully.
To make you the best version of yourself.
Exactly.
Bring that out of you,
And you get cheaper insurance while you do it. Like, there's so many benefits, guys, to being married. I also just love the concept of a wedding ceremony, but I think that's because I just love when the attention's all on me, which it would be. So, like, a wedding day to me is just a dream day where, like, hundreds of people just have to, like...
See, it is lovely, though, because obviously the way we are, so many people, so negative, and I think I think a huge reason for that is because of how roles are changing, of
Yeah.
equality of, it's amazing, obviously, but men and women can both be a CEO, both can
Yeah.
be in an amazing places in their career. No, neither one has to sacrifice, say, in being a stay-at-home mum, or be one is the breadwinner, one
Yeah.
stays at home and cleans. That has completely changed that stigma. Do you think that is an issue to why modern marriage is not as seen?
Yeah. And I don't understand why people aren't like utilizing that. Like marriages are now equal.
Yeah.
Like loads of people get married like decades ago and they weren't equal and they were rushing to get married.
Yeah.
Like you would literally meet a man on the bus and that was your husband in like a year or
You'd
two.
want to, it would be like,
You were craving getting married. But now I think people are just like, there's no benefits to marriage. And it's like, maybe it's more of like just a personal benefit.
yeah.
And I also really hate when I'm seeing people online judging people for getting married. It's none of your
Well, it's
business.
a huge judgment.
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
a huge judgment. And it's like, I think it's the whole trend of like hating men at the moment. And like, I understand where the trend came from, but now we're just generalizing all men.
Which is, it's a huge negative, because
Yeah.
it's just going to cycle. It's not going to
Yeah.
help nobody, because you might have not seen it, but there was a Vogue article that come out and it was on the lines of why having a boyfriend is embarrassing. And it, to me personally, it baffled me, because I was like, people say, which is true, the facts they were given, like people don't want to put the partners on social media, they don't want to talk about them. Women would actually lose a following or get judged if they posted a boyfriend or a male on the picture. And I don't know why. I know there's a lot of men who have done awful things and are negatives, but you can't, like you said, you can't
Generalize everyone, yeah. I think that's crazy.
Yeah.
I think that is insane. But also go into like the one where like if you post man, you lose loads of followers. Yeah, you lose loads of followers you do not want because they're all the creepy men. Like good. Like you should post your boyfriend more often because then you'd start actually clearing off your Instagram. But it's also like the same with like not posting them because you're embarrassing them. Why are you in that relationship?
Yeah. You wouldn't. Why would you be in a relationship?
Why embarrassed to talk about someone you love? Like, how does that make them feel? It's vice versa as well. Like, if a man doesn't post his girlfriend, he better have a bloody good reason why
it's both reasons.
Yeah.
Like,
And the same, like, if a man or, like, a woman doesn't want to talk about their partner, that's just weird.
It is.
That's a nick. That's a nick.
I don't know, even, I know we're in a day where careers are first as well, but I don't see why that shouldn't be an issue, because I think having somebody who supports you and is by it, and I've spoken to this in other episodes of people, having a person next to you in your relationship just boosts you when it's the right person. Like, they make you a better person. And I think at the end of the day, no matter who you are, if you don't want to get married or not, it's everybody wants to be everybody wants to feel wanted.
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't want to get married because they're really scared of getting divorced.
Yes.
And it's
definitely.
like, guys, come on. Like, why are you marrying someone you think you might get divorced to?
Or even if you don't think, it's still in your mind and you don't want that. You don't want to even have to put yourself in that situation too, but isn't that what marriage is all about? It's, even if it's the most amazing person ever, it's still going to be a risk either way. They could be, I've never done nothing wrong, could have been the most amazing person to you, but it's still going to be a risk. But isn't that the amazing thing of marriage?
I'll say it right now, guys. You thinking that you're going to get a divorce from whoever you're going to get married to is an irrational fear. Like, just straight up, it's an irrational fear unless you genuinely think that this person, you genuinely are going to get divorced from them in like a few months' time, a few years' time. Just say no.
Yeah.
If they get on their one knee, say no.
Say no.
And just walk away and block their number and just let them go on and find who they're actually going to get married to forever. Like, I don't think people realise there's a lot of people on this earth.
Yeah.
At least one person's going to stay with you
Yeah,
forever. You don't have to keep paying them lawyer fees to get a divorce every time.
I think it goes back to as well, I think people worry about putting themselves in a place where they can get rejected. Rejection, even before marriage. I think even just being in a relationship with somebody, it's a task that you're being able to put yourself into by being really vulnerable. So,
and that's where I say, you care less, you worry less, guys. That's where it comes into play. Rejection is just because you care so much.
Yeah.
Just don't care.
Yeah.
There's another person around the corner.
If it doesn't work out, of course.
And if it doesn't work out, it's because it's not meant for you.
It wasn't meant to work out, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a good thing, because imagine if you've gotten with that person, but then the next person you're about to swipe right on Tinder was actually the man that you're meant to be with, but you'd already gone with that guy who already rejected you before. You would have missed out on like a great person.
Of course. Well, anyway, I think that's a perfect way to move on to, obviously, as you know, I got in touch with Jonathan.
I'm so scared. Oh my gosh, I'm so scared.
And I basically asked him his opinion of you and how he saw you as a person in his eyes. So I just want to read it out and get your raw reaction on what you think of it.
Okay.
Dee, or as I know her, Moll, is one of the most unique people I've ever had the privilege of meeting. What defines Dee most is her ability to evolve creatively, emotionally, and with her own mental strength. She's faced many challenges that would break others, yet she's never let them shape her character in a negative way. Instead, she's chosen to grow stronger each time. She's built everything from the ground up without ever leaning on anyone else, and that's something I've always admired. I believe that if people were more themselves the way she does, the world would be a much better place.
Bless him. Love you, Pooks. Bless him. No, yeah. I think there was no one better to ask than Jonathan. Jonathan is basically my twin, which is really weird to say because we're dating, but no, me and Jonathan are like the same person, just in different fonts. Like, he's more practical, I'm more creative. We always joke that we've got like a Bluetooth connection in our brain, because when he goes on holiday, we always like, not in a bad way, but we feel out of sync. Like, we always think like whenever we're like quite close to each other, or like just in Liverpool in general, like we always like think the same thing at the same time, but when he's far away we don't, so our Bluetooth connection is lost. But yeah, I agree with what he says, actually.
What's it like for a person to actually say that to you?
I don't know, it's weird because the man of very few words.
Is he?
Yeah, he's very he's so loving, so loving. But the thing about Jonathan is he's very like physical loving, whereas I'm more words. So like we're the complete opposite. And he's never great with his words. Like, he'll always dig his own grave sometimes, and I'm like, oh great, and he's like, that's not what I meant, and I'm like, okay. Yeah, he's not great with words, but I'm actually really surprised he came up with that by himself. I'm gonna have to grill him to see if I'm gonna have to check through his chat GPT later just in case, honestly. But no, I'm proud of you, Jonathan. You wrote it well.
Well, I think that is really lovely for somebody to actually say that about you. I think to have people in your life to think of you that highly, it's only a testament to yourself. The question is the walkway, and it is, if somebody walked a day in your shoes, what's one lesson they'd learn?
Care less. Just don't deep things. Just care less, and you'll feel better. And if someone was in my shoes and in being me, they'd realise how refreshing like caring less is. So much better. Care less, people.
That's the perfect way. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
and it was lovely speaking to you.
It's lovely speaking to you. Oh.